full time. Doing gang things, living super clean. That done came up. Can't control us. One time for the men doing cane things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control us. One time for the men doing cane things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control us. Look at you, you done came up now. Get it how you live, mess the game up now. Ain't messing with yoga, but get the flame up. Hey, used to be Toby, but got your name back now. I see ya, paid under pressure. 25 lighters, got them all on the dresser. If it ain't for you, ain't for you then. If you a lame or a sucker, wanna dress you then. Grown up now, bump the childish ways. Got a wife and a bunch of kids to raise. Punch a clock side, hustle or a business you endure to ensure that all the bills is paid. Slow clap for your homeboy, could've turned out like your homeboy. Being on the same block, cooking up the same rock on the cell block lot with your homeboy. But no, you had vision, you had gold. Brand new you on the old time road, take care. Home where you bust your low. Black men don't teach, screaming bump the hoe. Real men talk, real king ways. Still in captivity, but minds ain't slave. Got a little wisdom, boy, you PD grade. Giving out the knowledge on the stoop these days. One time for the men doing cane things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. One time for the men doing cane things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. One time for the folk that have moved up. Even if you had a slow start screwed up. Used to gang bang, now homie brewed up. Had a little plan, I had them blew up. Look at you like a man right now. Dressed to the T, smelling like a grand right now. And you ain't got nothing from a handout now. Just faith and hard work gets it planned out now. You could've took a bunch of dusty rolls. The hand dealt with a bunch of cards to fold. To stay hot while the world is freezing cold. The same plot, but the story's never old. Slow clap for your kinfolk. Could've been asking what your info. Prosecutor could be trying to do you in for the 2020 twins, so you passing out the info. But no, you had purpose, you had plans. I ain't doing nothing, I'ma say these bands won't impress y'all, don't need no fans. That ain't my God, who is that man? This real man talk, real king ways. Still in captivity, but minds ain't slave. Got a little wisdom, boy, you peep these grades. Giving out the knowledge on the stoop these days. One time for the men doing cane things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. One time for the men doing cane things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. Yeah, real man. Sheesh. Yeah. Doing cane things. Mono. Living super clean. That it came up.
One time for my king doing king things. Mom these hoes cause he know he got a good thing. I submit and I cook and I clean and I never hold back on that wop, I'ma let it rain. Made me honest, I got a ring. All praises to the most high, let it sing. A real man able, sister never came. And I ain't going nowhere, this is not a game. Look at you, girl, you lonely right now. Settling for bums instead of men the most high. He provide and protect so he get our respect. And he leading us aboard when them chariots fly. I don't really think you hear me though. You can't cross this bridge on some billy goats. Let them save you in the end like a Seminole. BS help me, shout it, let the silly go.
One time for the men doing cane things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that came up.
Shalom and shalom, sisters and cousins, and praise the Lord, saints. It's your favorite housewife, Miss Mana. Good night, good evening. Hello to you all, wherever you are, whatever time it is. Hello to you. All praise to the Most High for another day, for just bringing us to this day. So much going on in the world. So let's do the preliminaries first. Let's see. Let me get my captions up. Happy Thursday, y'all. It's Thursday. It's almost Friday. So for those of y'all on the Monday to Friday schedule, your weekend is almost here. Yay. Just in case you're new here, I am at Miss Mono's World out here on these content creator streets, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all that good stuff. You can find me at Miss Mono's World. I would be remiss and out of order if I did not introduce you all to my husband, the love of my life, Monologue McGad, ladies and gentlemen. If you're not already on YouTube, please head over to the YouTube. Monologue McGad, MONOLOGMAGAD. That way you can be part of the conversation. and just experience everything that we have going on here today. Let's see. Shout out to my audience on the Saya TV. If you don't have the Saya TV app, please go ahead and download that for your smart TV, your Roku, your Fire Sticks, all that good stuff. The Light Hebrew Magazine, Sister Delta, Shalom and Shalom, sis. Banach, Shalom and Shalom to all of you. There we go. As I tell y'all every week, I appreciate you being here with me. You could be anywhere on the worldwide internet, but you are here with me, and I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Let's get to our side stories, okay? Because it's a lot going on. Yes, we're gonna get to the whole Diddy situation. I don't want to start there. Let's start with a few other things. I finally watched Quiet on the Set. My husband, he didn't finish watching it with me. He started watching it with me. We got Quiet on the Set, the Nickelodeon documentary. Where's the? That is the only sound I could think of to express my hurt, my disappointment, and surprised, no, but just to see it all kind of coming out and to realize that this has just been what's going on. It's not new, it's nothing special. They just found another medium to use to give us the same message. I mean, it's been what the world has been doing. And now that we have television, now it's easier for these perverts to bring their message to us, even as children. And I don't care what anybody says. Dan Schneider is just as guilty as everyone else. Okay. It was his mind that came up with the stuff. Why are you mimicking phallic body parts, and why are you mimicking cum shots in programming that's supposed to be meant for children? There's no excuse for it. And everybody's like, well, Dan wasn't the one abusing the children, but he knew about it. Just as guilty. But anyway, something else that we watched. And listen, I try not to watch these because y'all know how I feel about Tyler Perry. Okay. If you've been watching me any amount of time, the disdain and the hatred that I have for Tyler Perry. Okay, but I do like Kelly Rowland, even though that's like my husband's celebrity crush. Okay, but I do like Kelly Rowland. So even though everyone was saying Mea Culpa is the worst movie that had ever been made, I was like, I'm gonna give it a chance off the strength of Kelly. The worst 2 hours I have ever spent in my life, and I've given birth to 5 children. Okay, I'll say that. I'd rather be in labor again than watch it. It was insulting to present this as a movie to adults. Where was the plot? Where was the conversation? As a person who likes Kelly Rowland, I feel like it was insulting to her. Like, I feel like that was a step down for her. And I'm not gonna lie, like, it gave porn vibes. It gave porn vibes. There was no conversation. Worst movie is an understatement. It felt like a 6-year-old was writing an essay. Like my boys could have come up with better dialogue than they had in that movie. It was horrible, despicable. The best thing about the movie was the aesthetic. Like, Kelly looked great. The best thing about the movie was the aesthetic, because the script was horrible, the dialogue was non-existent. Whatever. And this is why I will continue to hate Tyler Perry. Okay, like, see, this just proves my point that this man should not be making movies anymore. But anyway, on to more serious matters that are occurring around us. I know everybody heard about the Baltimore bridge collapse. Uncle Man, shalom, thank you for reminding me. Everyone's heard about the Baltimore bridge collapse. So first and foremost, like, prayers to those families who are dealing with that. I was just reading up on it today, and they've recovered 2 bodies from the wreckage, and as the last time I checked, they had to stop the rescue efforts because of the conditions in the water. But this whole situation has left a major shipping hub of the United States disabled because now the port of Baltimore is basically useless. And as people should be, they're asking questions about the supply chain now. I'm not convinced. Let me not say I'm not convinced. I am not totally 100% convinced that this was just some random accident. I mean, we are living in a post 9/11 world. I've lived through the Oklahoma City bombing, the first World War. I mean, sorry, the first World War. I'm not that old. The first World Trade Center incident. Like, I've lived through those things. And because I have lived through a generation of false flag attacks. I'm not saying that that's what this is. But that bridge, the Key Scott Bridge, has been there since, I think they said 1977. And here it is, 2024. That bridge holds how much traffic at any given time, and has been for years, and one ship just wipes it out like that. And we can't act like we're not in a state of war in the world as a whole. We can't act like all of this stuff is not going on right now. It's not like, oh, it's just a lovely day and this ship just happened to crash into. No, like, we're at a state of war, no matter how much they don't want us to realize it, or, how much they try to hide it from us. This is just what's going on in our world right now. And so for us to just sit back and be like, "Oh, it just must be what they said it is. Nothing to see here." I think that would be a little ignorant of us. And it would be like us being like ostriches and just putting our head in the sand. So we'll see what comes out. Of course, there are reports on YouTube. There's independent journalism going on. And there are a few of these independent journalists who are saying that this is giving 9/11 vibes. I don't know. All we can do is see, watch and pray, watch and pray. That's all we can do, right? And then I saw a video that was posted. I think Sheer posted it. A video of a ship in Turkey that crashed into some of the cranes that were on the port. Apparently, the ship was trying to leave the port, and it crashed into these cranes that were lined up on the side there. So all of a sudden, ships are crashing all over the place now, just out the blue. I don't know. I've been telling y'all, I've been encouraging you guys, start growing your own food as much as possible. Start trying to become as self-sufficient as you possibly can. Stack up on water. Grow that food. Next time you go to buy vegetables, don't throw it out. Don't throw out those seeds. Get on Google and figure out how to regrow that thing. We have to start becoming more self-sufficient, because the fact of the matter is, yes, something horrible could happen and we could not be able to get food in our grocery stores. And then what? Something that occurred to me, a little sidebar. Y'all know we have hens, right? And so sometimes with the hens, when I go to prune our vegetables, I feed the hens the leaves that I prune, right? But we just harvested our greens. And so we had the stem. You don't eat the stem. You separate the leaf from the stem and you usually throw it out. Instead of throwing it out, however, I was able to give it to the chickens, right? So I see them eating this. And it just started to make me realize that this whole pollution, corruption, climate change, it's all manufactured. It's all manufactured. I'm gonna tell you why. Because if each individual family made enough food for them and whatever they needed to live or trade with their neighbors or whatever, there would be no waste. Because whatever I don't eat myself, I'm feeding it to my animals, and my animals are then making food for me to eat. So it's just a constant cycle of reuse and eat, reuse and use. But now we're living in this industrial food complex, and now we're talking about waste and pollution and everything else. It's just it's and it's sad when you think about it. It really is. It's sad when you think about it. All right, this next story is heartbreaking. Okay, I don't know how many of you all have heard about this, and I was gonna show a video, but I didn't find like one that told the story in good context. So there's a lady, and she's a single mom. Okay, and last year, 2023, early last year, she was having some mental health issues, right? Mental and emotional health issues. She was threatening to harm herself. So they took her to the hospital, put her on a psych eval. They kept her there for 2 months. She was in the hospital for 2 months, okay? Comes home from the hospital a few months later, has another breakdown. But this lady has a baby at home, a 16-month-old baby at home, okay? Lady has another breakdown and decides that she just needs to get away. She can't take it no more. She needs to get away. Now, she had the father of the child was with her when she decided that she just needed to get away. According to her, this was just an impulse. She couldn't help it. She was having a mental health crisis and she just needed to get away. So this was an impulse and she just left her baby. Okay. She told the boyfriend that was with her that the baby was at her mom's house. So he's thinking that the baby's at the mom's house. She said that that's what she kept telling her friends. The baby's with her mother. The baby's with her mother. She said also in court that her friends could tell that something was wrong with her. Like she was just really disturbed the whole time, whatever. She wound up staying away for 10 days. Okay. She left her baby for 10 days. In the course of those 10 days, neighbors that were living around her were recording on their Ring video the screams of the baby coming from the apartment because, mind you, the baby had been left in the apartment by herself. She's only 16 months old. So they have audio recording of this baby screaming and hollering at the top of her lungs for hours. No, nobody's there to help. Nobody's there to assist. The mother is traveling from Detroit. No, I forgot where she lived, but she ended up going to Detroit. Then she went to Puerto Rico. Needless to say, when she came back, her baby was dead. Okay. Calls the ambulance, they come and they get the baby and they're trying to figure out what's going on. And so, of course, she's not going to say, hey, I left my baby alone in a playpen for 10 days. Mind you, they found the baby covered in urine and feces, severely dehydrated, and a third less. She weighed a third less than she should have. And as you know, when you're talking about babies and infants, weight is very important. That is a very important indicator of their health. This is how you know if they get enough to eat, if they're, sufficiently digesting their food and stuff. But this child weighed a third less than she should have at the time of her death. Okay. So the mother doesn't tell the truth. The mother doesn't tell them, yeah, I left my baby. It was me, blah, blah, blah. No, what the mother tells them is, I don't know what was wrong with her. She was sick and she wasn't eating. And I kept trying to get her to eat, but she wasn't sick and she wouldn't eat and she wouldn't take no water. And so in court, her lawyer was the one that came up with the whole mental health situation. Well, this lady was just recently sentenced to life in prison. She will be sitting in prison for the rest of her life. And of course, she's giving interviews and stuff, and she's going for the whole, oh, I was a tired single mother angle. And this just brings up a whole bunch of issues. And of course, there were comments saying, well, this is why abortion should be legal. Killing a child is not the answer. Okay. But this is why I don't understand why there's so much backlash when there are women out here like myself and other women who are out here trying to tell women don't end up being single mothers. It's not the life that you think that you want. I don't understand why we keep applauding this single mother lifestyle. We keep acting like this is something to be celebrated. And the fact of the matter is, our single moms are suffering from depression and anxiety and everything else. They're doing things like this out of desperation, and these babies are dying. These babies are being neglected. These babies are not being taken care of. There's a video going around the internet right now of what's supposed to be a kid's party. And they have the characters from Woody and the girl that was like him in Toy Story twerking in front of small kids. It's so bad that one of the moms starts twerking with the cartoon character, the little cartoon character puppet that's supposed to be there to entertain the kids. The mom starts working with the puppet, and so one of the little girls starts working too. Nobody says anything. They all out there recording and taking pictures and stuff. And we can't keep saying, where's the dad? Where's the dad? We can't keep acting like we don't live in a generation of women that just want the baby and nothing to do with the father. I don't know. Anyway, prayers to the other side of that baby's family, because the mama in jail. She in jail. Of course, she's planning on appealing. She's going to do the whole mental health thing for her appeal. Good for her, whatever. Anyway. All right. The whole P. Diddy situation. We got to talk about it. We have to talk about it. And so his house has been raided. Two of his homes have been raided. But now you have people like Candace Owens. And I don't know if y'all saw her Breakfast Club interview. Sidebar here. I don't know if y'all saw the Candace Owens Breakfast Club interview. On the one hand, the way she was talking sounded great. Like, she was talking good. She was talking like she may have been trying to reach out to the Black part of her. Okay, she was talking good. But at the end of the day, when they asked her how she ended up with a white man, she said, oh, he was the only one that could get me, or he was the only one intelligent enough for me. And then she starts talking about how she dated Asians when she was growing up because they seem to be the only ones intelligent enough for her. And see, no matter how much a person tries to talk pro-Black, you can't really be pro-Black and marry a non-Black person. You can't. When she talks about the disparity that she faces, she has said before that she has a problem when police brutality allegations come up against Black people, because she's married to a white man and she knows that not all white people are like that. Okay, let's not forget that at a certain point of celebrity, these people have developed into characters. Charleston White told us that himself. He said he was a community activist, but going live and playing this character paid more. So that's what he does. We can't act like that these people are not doing this, that they're not all actors, that they're not all in cahoots playing their assigned role to keep this media machine going. Okay, so great interview, but whatever. She's still on the edge. But now, as far as her conservative views, yes, I 100% agree with her views as far as conservatism, bringing Black fathers back into the home, how we as the Black community should be doing better morally. I totally agree with that. Okay. So let's just be clear about that. Like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications so you know when we go live here at the House of Mono. Let's see. If you like what I'm saying, or you just like what we got going on here, you say, hey, I'd like to support you guys. $1 or $2, do head over to the Cash App, $sign, the House of Mono. We thank you in advance. If you've given in the past, we thank you for that as well. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the story that I was talking about because I had started something and then I went off on a sidebar about Candace. Okay. The whole P. Diddy situation is heating up. It's getting crazy. So they raided his homes, and even his own lawyer came on television and said, listen, they're not executing search warrants until they are absolutely sure that they have a case. But there are people now coming out and saying that, oh, Diddy's not the target of the investigation. He just may have something to do with it, or it's just people that he knows. Listen to me. Let me tell you something. I, in no way, shape, or form, want to be associated with a human trafficking investigation, nor do I want to be associated with people who could possibly, in any way, shape, or form, be associated with a human trafficking investigation. So I don't care how y'all trying to spin this. No. Okay. No. And like I said before, the rumor's been going on for too long. Okay, this is not some new, oh my gosh, where did this come from? Oh, we're all so surprised. Nobody's surprised. Who's surprised? Nobody's surprised. No one's surprised. It's just that now you have details and confirmation from people who were actually there. See, no one would repeatedly, vehemently, and officially say, yes, these were the things that were going on. Okay. But now you have people after Cassie's lawsuit, now this other lawsuit from Little Rod, and I think there are 5 lawsuits all together. Okay. So now you have people officially, legally on paper saying, yes, this is what this man did to me. Okay. Not only that, his girlfriend, whatever she is, Young Miami, has also been named in the lawsuit. She's been named in the lawsuit as a sex worker. And mind you, this is the same Young Miami from the City Girls with their slut rap lyrics, always talking about how they getting over on men and how they got men doing this, and I live like that, and I shop here and I shop there, just to come to find out that she's really getting paid to be a sex worker. And this is what I be saying about not getting caught up in the world and what these women in the world are suggesting to you, because she's been suggesting that, oh, somehow she's better than us because she can afford certain things, not disclosing how she's affording those certain things. For some reason, we're supposed to believe that excuse for rap music is paying her all of this money, when we all know with streaming and everything else that money from music ain't what it used to be. So now you just continue to perpetuate this lie about a lifestyle that you do not live. And let's not act like that is, again, not young, impressionable, and also old, impressionable people listening to the City Girls or the Town Women. Okay, so here's the thing, right? Once you come out of a thing, you still gotta look back and consider all the people that you misled in that thing. Okay, because everybody likes to say, oh, well, people can change. We da 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 da. Yes, people can change, and that's great. But what about the people that you misled into your bad decision and their consequences. There's a reason why a life of whoredom is labeled the way that it is. I mean, it's just like selling drugs. You're only going to end up dead or in jail somewhere. You and just when you're listen, the type of I hope I don't get a ding for saying this, but I'm like the type of sex work that's going on these days it's glamorized and it's romance to everyone. It's made to seem like, oh, this is what all the cool kids are doing. Like if you have money, this is what you're doing. This is where you're at. But as we're starting to see, this not really what we thought it was. Somebody was posting on Facebook and I was like, we got to rethink the whole bad boy era. We have to rethink everything that we thought was cool growing up. Look at the people that were giving it to us. Look at the people that were pushing all the hypersexualized, the hyper gangsterism. Look at what these people have been doing. Look at how they've been living this whole time. And listen, people have been warning us for decades about rap, about hip hop, about the lifestyle, about the lyrics. People have been warning us. But because, we didn't have any proof, it was kind of like, oh, y'all just being old. Y'all just don't want us to have a good time. Leave us alone. Listen, it's just like the Freaknik documentary, okay? They talked about how it was a good, clean, fun, and a good time for everybody that was involved. And enter Uncle Luke. Okay. And then it turned into what it became before they had to stop it. When are we going to understand that literally the wages of sin is death? Like, look at what happens when sin enters the equation. Because gathering with your friends to commemorate your spring break, that's not a problem. But here you come with the hypersexualization of everything, and now the thing is ruined. Bad boy making music, not a problem. Seemed like a fun time. But now we're discovering that there was a lot of carnage behind that good time. And when I say carnage, I'm not just talking physical carnage. I'm talking about people's spirit and emotional health. I'm talking about people's mental health. Yeah, it's all fun and games until you have to wake up the next day and deal with it. And I think a lot of these slut rappers come up with these extreme lyrics to make themselves feel better about the reality of the life that they're living. I can't really see how a woman prefers that to something else that could potentially make her the same amount of money. Like if you could make the same amount of money without laying on your back, I don't see why one wouldn't do that. Okay. And I get it. Like I get it. It's everybody's not out here doing it to feed their kids. Everybody's not out here sex working to feed their kids. Everybody not on OnlyFans to support their family. Like that. No, that's not everybody's testimony. I'm sorry, y'all. This piece of hair is like in my eye and it's getting on my nerves. Okay, that's not everybody's testimony. Okay, everybody's not up there trying to pay their tuition or something like that. That's not the case always. But this is why I'm always on y'all. Like, be careful of the people who you hang around. One connection with one wrong person can have you ending up in a federal investigation for human trafficking. And didn't Carisha just get out of jail? And it looked like she about to go back in? Like, It's crazy. That's crazy. But another part of this whole P. Diddy situation, people are bringing up Jay-Z's name. I don't know if this is just like some kind of rumor that was floating around and now it's just getting out of hand, but people are constantly bringing up Jay-Z's name in this entire situation. So we'll see what happens with that. He's had his own rumors. We can't deny, I mean, we keep seeing it, so we can't deny that, hey, once you get to a certain point, once you start making a certain amount of money, there's apparently certain behaviors that you're just going to be taken a part of, or certain things that you now have access to that apparently people seem to want to do. So I don't know. We'll see what comes of this whole, Jay-Z. Like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications so you know when we go live here at the House of Mono. All right. All right. Okay. We'll be back after. Love you. Be safe. Huh? Okay. Love you. Be safe. Mono Armageddon, he's in the building. He's leaving the building, and then he'll come back to the building. All right, guys. Our main topic: why Boaz don't want your ass? Because he's looking for the pick me type. Hold on, let me fix this, y'all. Because it's getting on my nerves. It's like falling in my eye. Okay. Get out my eye. Okay, there we go. All right, he's looking for the pick me type. And I know you might be like, what? Why would you say that? Because the fact of the matter is, if I could get my shirt off my necklace, because the fact of the matter is, anytime that I have entered a dialogue in defense of men, in defense of marriage, in defense of healthy relationships, I'm almost always 99.999% of the time called a pick me. And I've noticed this with other women. Anytime you try to present another point of view besides the angry Black woman popular opinion, you're called a pick me. But something else that I cannot help but notice, 99.99% of the time when a woman is called a pick me, she already has a man. She's happily married. Married. She already got a man. She's engaged. She's married, been married, trying to help these other women. And instead of her thoughts being considered, it's just easier to label her a pick me and be dismissive. Shannon Germain, Shalom and Shalom. Yes, we've been using that wasn't no big deal. Yeah, so I've noticed that usually whenever a woman is called a pick me, she has a man. She's happily married. Okay. And instead of maybe someone taking a step back and saying, well, maybe I should reconsider this, the group think seems to take a hold. And it seems to be that in order to be labeled a pick me, you have to be pro-Black man, pro-Black family, pro-Bible, anti-feminism. These types of thoughts get you labeled a pick me. And the fact of the matter is, usually when someone labels, let me speak for myself and for what I have observed. as far as myself and from what I have observed, most of the women who call me a pick me are usually spouting opinions filled with anger and bitterness. And we just have to keep it real. Okay. A lot of people speak from the heart flows the issues of life. So a lot of times when you hear people talking, it's not from a neutral, unbiased third person perspective. They are usually speaking to you from their emotions and their life experiences. I heard it put a long time ago that no two people watch the same movie. What that means is um what your perception of a situation is not my perception of a situation. Okay? When you react to a person, or if you see a person and your first thoughts about that person, barring some barring some provoking incident, your first thoughts about that person are more of a reflection of you than they are of them. And that not only applies in female to female dynamics, but it also applies when you're talking about male and female dynamics. Angelina Shalom, thank you for joining me. Shannon Jermaine, if you want to talk about that kind of stuff, then wait till my husband comes back on live. I'm sure he'll be happy to discuss all that with you. Not trying to be rude, but that's not really what I'm here to talk about. Okay, so yeah, so this knowledge that people are often speaking from their own experiences is somehow lost on other people. Everyone's not aware of that. And you'll see this a lot of times when you feel like when it you'll see this a lot of times when it just seems like someone is just over emotional in their response. They are personalizing the situation. You can't ever just discuss the thing because they always want to make it about them. Um Another thing that I see that we seem to fail at as a people is being able to entertain an idea without feeling the need to embrace the idea. Okay, I can listen to someone talk to me about how delicious they think lima beans and succotash are. I hate lima beans and succotash. Hate it, hate it, hate it. But I will listen to you tell me about it, and I'm not going to get upset that you like it. Okay, cool, that's fine. When you come across a person that is damaged, bitter, and angry, they can't entertain the idea of you being happy with a man because they can't find one. And then they're going to internalize it. And instead of them internalizing it and saying, you know what, I really do want that for myself. How do I go about getting that? Like, how do I go about doing the work to get that? They'll take that to say, oh, she thinks she better than me because she got a man. No, I don't. I'm just happy that I have a man and I just want to talk about it. I know people get tired of me, my husband, my husband, my husband, but yes, ma'am, my husband, my husband, my husband. And if you don't like it, then I don't know what to tell you, but I'm not going to stop bragging about what the good Lord has done for me. You know how long I prayed for this? And now I'm supposed to be quiet about it because you want to be angry and bitter? No, ma'am, I don't think so. Okay, and even some of my single sisters out here who y'all are living righteous and you know what's up, and you have to deal with these women calling you a pick me. Please don't pay them any attention. And then don't pay them any attention. Sheena, your posh, thank you for joining me. Don't pay them. Stop letting these social media rooms shape your real life perception and how you deal with men, because they will have you single and lonely every time. You have to understand something. These social media conversations are a snapshot in time, first of all. Secondly, half of these people don't even use their real freaking name. So why are you giving any credibility to what they think? A person who don't even use their real name on social media can't say nothing to me. You can't tell me nothing. I don't even know who you really are. You don't know these people's background. You don't know where they've come from. You don't know anything about them. All you know is we're having this conversation, and everybody in here seems to feel that no matter what, the man is always wrong. And here I come with another perception. And I don't understand why everybody's disagreeing with me. It does not matter if they all disagree with you if they are not living the life that you want to live. I keep telling y'all, stop taking advice from people that's not doing what you want to be doing. A person that is divorced cannot tell you how to be happily married. A woman without a man cannot tell you anything about how to keep a man. She absolutely, how? How, ma'am? How? I don't know how many of y'all saw Love is Blind when Clay's parents were on there and they were talking about how Clay's dad was running around on his mom and treating her bad for the whole 24 years. That 24 years don't count, Miss Ma'am. No, ma'am, I don't want no advice from you. No, I don't. You a single mama and got all these different baby daddy. No, you can't tell me how to stay married. I understand why you're upset with men. You seem to keep making the wrong choices over and over again. Listen, if I know that I like a Whopper, I know I like a Whopper with cheese. This is what I know that I like when I go to Burger King. I'm not going to try anything else. I'm not interested in your Big King, your chicken sandwich, your fish. I'm not interested in none of that. Give me my Whopper with mayo. If every time I pick something other than a Whopper with mayo, knowing that this is what I really want, then that's my fault. That's not Burger King's fault. Burger King's not nasty. I keep picking the wrong thing off the menu. Same thing when it comes to Black men. You say that you want a man that treats you nice, that's sweet, that has a stable job and can provide for you and everything else, but you keep running after dudes that's in the street, ain't thinking about being stable with you or nothing else. As a matter of fact, he done told you he got a wife, a girlfriend, and 2 mistresses on the side, and you just decide to join in, thinking that somehow this is going to turn into the man of God that you want to marry. How, sis? How did you get that? How did you mix a cake and some eggs and end up with a watermelon? That's how much that makes sense. Stop mistaking stability for boredom. Listen, I'm so at peace in my, you know what I love to do on a Friday night? Cook my family dinner, clean up my house, sit in my bathtub and watch my TV. I don't need to go nowhere. I'm cool at the house. I'm at peace. This is not boredom to me. And see, this what makes me, I tell my daughters this all the time, okay? I tell y'all my truth so that you don't have to go through it, right? Also, on top of that, you can't take the grace that I've received for granted, okay? Yeah, I made it through. I'm here to tell my story, but you don't know why. You don't know why. You don't know my destiny. You don't know what the Most High had planned for me since before my conception. So don't assume that, oh, well, she did it, I'm gonna go out here and try to do it. And here's the thing, you think that for some reason you're gonna get out here and do it better than every other woman that's ever done it. I know what they said about being a stripper, but I'm gonna go out here and do it, and I'm gonna be better than all of them. I know what they said about OnlyFans. I know what they said about this, but I'm gonna get out here and do it, and I'm gonna be better than them. I'm gonna get my money, and I'm gonna get out. Ain't that how it always happens? Ain't that's what they always say before they go down? Just this one hit, just this one lick. Let me get to this first million. Listen, I was 18, 19 years old, dancing in a club with 30 and 40-year-old women. Okay. And I'm not body shaming here, but let's be real, okay? Your 20-year-old body and your 40-year-old body is two different bodies. All right, unless you out here getting surgeryed up and everything like that, then it's going to be obvious that your body is 40 years old. I'm pretty sure that when sis started at the club at 18, 19, 20, she didn't say, ooh, 20 years from now, I still want to be here having to strip so I can take care of my kids because all they daddies done left me. But this is the stuff that happens. We get so caught up in the groupthink and what we feel like society wants us to think, and what we feel, we get caught up in worldly wisdom. That's what I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna call it worldly wisdom. Okay, because this is the crap that these women out here are teaching you and telling you what to do, and they ain't got nan successful relationship to show you about it. Savannah James been quiet this whole time. She ain't said nothing. Why? Because she busy at the crib loving her man and her children. She just now starting a podcast, but look at her kids. They're all in college. They grown now. That lady stayed at her house and raised her children and ain't said boo to none of y'all. But instead of y'all trying to figure out that formula, you out here trying to be like, but you say you want a man. You say you want a good man. You say, if the Most High would just send me a good man, if I could just get one chance, if I could just have a man. And let me tell y'all something. Stop looking at other people's marriages and thinking that you want that man. You don't know what that woman put up with. And you don't know if you could put up with that. You don't want that man. You want the happiness that you see in that marriage. Okay, but the only way that you're going to get that is you have to be fulfilled in yourself. You can't come into a marriage looking for your husband to fulfill the things that the Most High is supposed to fulfill in you. Okay, I love my husband. Don't get me wrong. I love that man with everything in me. Okay, but listen, when the Most High is dealing with me, there's nothing my husband can do. I gotta get in my word and get in some prayer and figure out what the Father is trying to tell me now. If I'm feeling guilty about something, no, I got to get with the Most High. And if me and my husband aren't right, I can't go to the Most High. That's how intricate the relationship is. And I don't think y'all ready to sign up for that, because modern Christianity has the Black woman thinking that somehow she's spiritually superior to her man. And I've witnessed it firsthand. I've sat in a church where they've told the women, oh, you're the spiritual head of your household. What kind of backwoods witchcraft is that? Y'all out here telling women that they're the spiritual. Yes, this is what they're telling these women. And this is why churches are empty of Black men. And this is why Black women have a hard time respecting Black men as it is. Listen, ma'am, sis, cousin, just because his spirituality doesn't look like yours doesn't mean it's any less valid. I don't want my man sitting up here snotting and crying in front of me the whole time. Listen, I'm not saying that men don't cry. I'm not saying that. And I'm not saying that there's not a time and place for it. It absolutely is. But I'm going to be honest with you. I don't need my man next to me snotting and crying for me to believe that his relationship with the Most High is legit. I don't need all that. Okay? My man shows me the tenacity of his relationship by how he produces in life. My man shows me the tenacity, his commitment to the Most High by getting up every day and going to work. That's how you want to show me as a man that you committed to the Most High. Provide for me and these children. Y'all worried about the wrong stuff. Y'all want lip service and y'all want showmanship. No, if that man is a man of God, he gonna get up every day. And my husband told me a long time ago when we was married for a while and we had just had Paxton, but he told me it's like he get up every day and put this family on his back like a backpack, and he go out and do what he got to do. Because that's what a real man is going to do. That's what a man of God is going to do. But guess what he's not going to do? He's not going to come home and deal with some angry, bitter house cat being all angry and cantankerous in his house. And that is why these same women that have no problem calling me and everybody that thinks like me a pick me is sitting up there single and lonely. Listen, let me tell you something. When you in any phase in life, there's ups and downs. There's good days and there's bad days. There's some days when being single is like you feel like that's the best thing ever. And then there's some days when you're lonely. Okay? Listen, when you're married, there's some days when being married is the best thing ever. And I'm telling you, you should have more of those days than the other days. Okay? But then there's some days when you can just be like, you know what? I could be alone today. I could be alone today. That's life. Okay. And see, here's what people don't want to accept. We don't want to accept that we are humans with feelings, that life has ups and downs. But this is why the Most High made the law for us to follow, because regardless of your feelings, these are the principles that still stand. This is the law of the Most High. This is what you are commanded to do with your life. This was determined before your feelings ever became a part of the picture. The way that you feel is not going to change reality. All right. It's easy to sit here and talk about how, ooh, we so happy to be single in our 20s and our 30s. But when you get to them 40s and 50s and 60s and you ain't the hot commodity no more, then what? And let's keep it real. This is why people talk about women in church all the time. Look, she was a hoe and now, she done got all old and now she want to come to church. Let's not act like that's not what happens. But why do some men got to put up with your used trash can vagina? Why? Why take yourself through all that? And another thing, I tell people this all the time. Just because you see me on the outside, you don't know what I go through on the inside. You don't know the work I had to do, the road I had to travel to get from where I was to where I am right now. You don't know the struggles me and my husband went through. I know plenty of times I done sent this man of mine to the prayer closet like, Lord, please, you better help me do something with this woman. You don't know what it takes to work together with someone in a marriage. And you're not interested because according to society, think it's only supposed to be about you. It's only supposed to be about you and what you want. And anyone that wants to be in a relationship with you is going to have to come in agreement with you and what you want. And that's never going to work. Here's the thing, you don't want to be treated that way, but for some reason you feel like you should be able to treat other people that way. You don't want to be around someone who makes you feel not wanted, but you want other people to put up with that feeling until you feel like you want them again. That's craziness. It's ridiculous. Hold on, y'all. I'm sorry. My mama just called me twice. I just want to make sure she's okay. Hold on. Praise the Lord. Hey, Mom. I am. I just want to make sure you're okay. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Love you. All right, y'all. I'm sorry. I had to check on my mom's. All right. All right, y'all. Let's get to these comments. Yes, mama over everything. I love y'all, but I'll stop and see what's going on with my moms. You know what I'm saying? Angelina, pick me ain't in the Torah. Forget what they say. Listen, call me what you want. Okay, call me what you want. I don't care. I know what you won't call me, single. You won't call me lonely. Okay. Martha Shabbat. Thank you for joining me. I hope I said your name right. Big guy, he They think they can just bypass the man. Yeah, so we're in the whole marriage isn't the goal. Marriage ain't the goal. Why isn't it? Why isn't marriage the goal? For some reason, we have been made to feel like marriage was just an ancient tool of survival, that women had no other choice but to be married. And that is the only reason why women have gotten married. I don't understand when we thought that it was our job to take over the role as providers. I mean, we could go back through the whole Black family timeline in this country. We see how Black marriage and Black family was on the rise from Reconstruction until the signing of the Civil Rights Bill, until the Civil Rights era, until integration. Okay, no one denies that Black marriage and Black family was way higher than it was back then. And they'll say, oh, it's because, we needed each other to survive. Why do you feel like we don't need each other to survive now? For some reason, we've been convinced that the ability to acquire material goods now means that a man is not good for anything else. That's what we're saying. I'm gonna start answering the phone like my my mama answered the phone like that all my life. She would hit you with the praise the Lord. Like, don't call her phone playing. All they want is hot girl summer. Literally, that is all they want. And it's not. Listen, it's not sustainable, you guys. It doesn't even sound right. And now, mind you, the same woman that bought you Hot Girl Summer is being awarded as an excellent advocate for Planned Parenthood, the abortion mill for Black babies in America. And this is who y'all following after. This is who you choose to follow after, the abortion advocate. I as a studier of history, it's hard. I've never found a time, I've never read about a time in history where women successfully made it on their own. I've never read it. Never. From the Chaldeans to the Sumerians to the Egyptians to the Greeks to the Romans, the rise of the Vikings and the Europeans, the British Empire, this modern American empire that we live in now. There's never been a successful group of women. And instead of us looking back through history and realizing that feminism has to be a lie, it has to be a scam. Instead of us looking at what lies in front of us and accepting our reality, we will continue to be in full-on rebellion against the Most High because we do not want to admit where we are wrong. And I know you might be like, oh, it can't be that simple, Miss Mono. Yes, it's that simple as admitting, yes, I'm wrong and I need help. That's literally the first step. Like when you turn your phone on and it says you need the passcode to even use your Face ID, that's literally the first step. I'm wrong. Something's wrong with me. I need help. I keep making the same mistake over and over again. Why can't I keep a good man? Why can't I have a stable relationship? What is going on with me? But like I say all the time, y'all too embarrassed to admit that something is wrong with you. Well, how am I supposed to know something's wrong with me? Because you want a marriage and you can't get one? Because every relationship you've been in seems to fail. And I'm not always saying it's your fault, but ma'am, sis, cousin. Come on now. Like my grandma used to say, once is a mistake, twice maybe, but three is just a good time. It's like once you see the pattern and you keep repeating it, okay, this is what you want. This is what you want to do because this is what you keep on doing. It's like a person that gets in a relationship and just keeps lying. Okay, you want to be a liar. You want to be a liar. You keep on lying. You keep on stealing. This is just the behavior that you resign yourself to. But I'm here to tell you, ma'am, sis, cousin, like there's hope for you to change. You don't have to accept what's going on in your life right now. And you don't have to accept the opinion of these social media trash cans. Because they're all just recycling the same garbage. They want to push you into promiscuity and then tell you to have an abortion when you get pregnant from that. And y'all, I read about a new STD the other day. The wages of sin is death, literally. Anytime you make a pact with sin, it is never going to work out for you. What do you mean make a pact with sin? You out here having premarital sex? You out here lying and scamming? And let's be real, ladies, okay? The act of laying down to have sex is just one type of sin. Listen, y'all out here lying, scamming, manipulating, lying on your kids, lying about, oh, my rent, my lights, my this, my that. You feel like you're not ever gonna have to answer for that? You feel like you don't need to repent for that? Like for some reason, this man's money, time, life is worth less than yours because of what? You feel like you're just that special that for some reason the Most High loves you more than he loved this man over here? Why? Who do you think that you are that the Most High is just supposed to overlook the sins that you commit on men? Why do you feel like you that special? And see, what gets me is y'all will have sons and brothers and be ready to fight if somebody do your son or your brother the same way. Do you feel like that man don't have a sister that's ready to jump bad about him too? You feel like he ain't got a cousin somewhere that's ready to get down about him too? We have been so filled with the feminist agenda that we somehow feel like we're supposed to be put on a pedestal and no man is good enough for us and they better freaking tap dance and sing and bring us fruit and flowers as if we are some type of God. It's almost like that's what y'all want. If y'all go to the accounts in the Bible, I talked to y'all a few weeks ago about the letter of Jeremiah in the Apocrypha and how it talks about they used to adorn the gods with gold and bring them food or bring them flowers and bring them gifts and plead and beg with them for things. And it's like y'all want men to treat you like that because you want them to feel like if you have me in your life, then your life is just going to be wonderful. Just my mere presence is just going to be enough to change your life. Who the hell are you? Who do you think you are? Let me explain something to y'all. Ma'am, sis, cousin, as you get older as a woman, there is something coming for you, okay? We're just going to loosely call them hormonal changes. And when I tell you that you are going to try your man in ways that you never thought possible, it is coming for you, okay? Everybody always likes to talk about, oh, well, the woman winds up doing so much of the work and married men live longer because they have their wife taking care of them and all of this, but nobody ever talks about how the man has to put up with your crap while you're pregnant, your crap while you're emotional, your crap while you're PMSing, and then comes perimenopause and menopause and any other hormonal issues and just life in general. You could get sick, you could be in an accident, and now you're counting on this man. Why do women feel like we are so freaking invincible and we don't need anyone? Y'all have really, you know how the Bible says that knowledge puffeth up? This worldly wisdom is puffing y'all up. It is literally puffing you up. And when a person gets close enough to actually see you, that is when they realize that there's nothing there. You can't even sit down and have an intellectual conversation about current events. You don't have a thought about anything. They told you to go out and get the jump shot for the Divic, and you went out and did that. They sit up there and tell you, oh, now you need 2 jump shots for the flu and the Divic. You went out there and did that too. You send your kids to school without a thought or a care. Whatever happens, happens. Oh, well. You could care less about your man's health. He been walking around complaining about his stomach hurt, his chest hurt, and everything else hurt. When you make the man an appointment to go to the doctor, you can't be too worried about that. And now y'all out here just making these ridiculous demands. If he want to get with me, he got to be able to. But what can you do for yourself? Here's a question. The life that you feel like that you're entitled to, that you so deserve, are you doing anything to work toward that without a man? I was a nationally certified surgical tech. Was going through nursing school. Okay. And please understand me. I'm not saying that a career is a replacement for a man. Not saying that at all. But and I'm not saying that this is wrong. One of the main talking points when it comes to relationships is finances. And again, I'm not saying that is wrong because love can't pay the bills, boo. I cannot call Georgia Power and say, well, my husband loves me and we are very much in love with each other. So if y'all could please keep our lights on. It don't work like that. Okay. So I'm not saying finances shouldn't be important. But for those of y'all that want to act like finances are the one and only thing that a man is supposed to provide, are you doing anything to put yourself in that position financially? Because I think what you'll realize is that no matter how much money you have, that can't replace the presence of a man. Listen, that man is there to do more than bring finances to you. Whenever my husband leaves to go out of town or whatever, there's a immediate difference in our house. We walking around making sure the doors is locked. I make sure everybody stay in the house because daddy not here. He's supposed to he make us feel safe. So when daddy not here, the vibe is totally different. I don't know that everything gonna be okay. My man not here. And I would be called to pick me because, oh, it shouldn't matter. And the only way that you could say that a presence of a man doesn't matter is because you've never been in the presence of a good man. That's the only way you can say that to me. And the same women that would sit there and call me a pick me or have 3 dogs and 2 guns in the house. Always talking about, oh, I'm scared. As a woman, I'm scared to go out. As a woman, I'm scared to travel because, there's always the threat of assault, and people are always looking to take advantage of women. Well, what you so scared for, Miss Feminist? Miss, I got the power. It's all in me. What are you scared for then? It is not weak for a woman to admit that she needs a man. What's weak is for a woman to stand there and tell you that I'm not willing to correct my attitude or change my behavior to accommodate a man. That's weak. That's weak. That's like knowing that, okay, in order to get the blessing that you want, in order to get this blessing that you want, I just need you to take this one little test and you refuse to do it. You just refuse to do it. That's dumb. But that's how y'all act with men. My pride is too strong. And listen, I'm not saying that every time you're going to win. I'm not saying that there's not heartache and heartbreak. I'm not saying that there's not failure. I'm not saying that it's not times when you're going to be like, dang, I shouldn't have did that. But here's the solution to that. You don't stay with that person that makes you regret treating them well. Unfortunately, what happens a lot of times, ladies, is we get to falling in love and we get to feeling like I can change him. And if I love him right, and if I love him hard enough, he'll change for me and he'll love me and he'll be a good man for me. Instead of facing the reality of what's in front of us. Oh, he got 4 or 5 baby mamas. He ain't never been married. He ain't never had a long-term relationship. And instead of saying, you know what, brother, maybe you need a little more work than I can, help you with right now. Instead of doing that, and instead of walking away and going to find someone who we can cooperate with, who does know how to respect us, treating them well, we'll sit here and keep banging our head up against a brick wall and then wonder why you walking around damaged. You've literally been beating your head up against the wall. This man has told you, and this is why I say what a person says to you should be the very last thing that you consider. Because he's told you a lie with his words, but his actions never lied. Yes, he'll call you on the phone and tell you, oh, I love you. Oh, I'm just thinking about you. If he calls you at all, because his actions don't lie. So he's not thinking about you. He's probably not calling you. He's probably not texting you. You're the one that always has to call him. You're the one that always has to text him. You're the one that's always looking for him because he jump up out your bed at 12, midnight, 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. You can never get him to stay till the sun come up. You the one always asking him to take you somewhere. And instead of you saying, you know what, this dude is just not that into me, it's time to move on, you will for some reason think that, oh, I can change his mind. Ma'am, sis, cousin, let me it has to be there for a man. It has to be there. It has to be enough for him to want to say, I'm willing to put everything else to the side to have this woman in my life. And ma'am, sis, cousin, if it's just not there for you, it's just not there for you. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with him. There's nothing wrong with you. You just aren't his person. So, okay, adios, sayonara, whatever. Let me continue on to find my person. Listen, I don't know how they know. Men know when there's another man around. All right. And I'm be honest with you. In my single days, I got to the point where I just knew no one is ever really single. Nobody is really, really single. It's somebody around somewhere waiting in the phone, waiting in the text, waiting in the email. It's somebody waiting somewhere. Okay. So nobody's walking around with no options. And for those of y'all who are living righteously, I'm not saying it like, oh, you should have people on speed dial, but for the most part, y'all know y'all got options. You know what I'm saying? You may not want them, they may not be good enough for you, and that's cool, but you got options. All right. But now there's a difference between having options and being a hoe. What is a hoe? A hoe is someone who decides to sample all of those options. Ma'am, sis, cousin, that is not necessary. That's not necessary. And they'll call you a pick me for saying, oh, no, I want to wait until I find my husband. I don't want my sex to be like that. I don't want to be all loose like that. I'm not going home with somebody who I just met at the club. You gotta put up something if you want to get with me. And they'll call you a pick me for not following that whole culture. Because it's not about anybody can have sex with a man. Any woman can have sex with a man. The most angry, bitter, she can get a man to take her home. That ain't nothing. Can you get him to stay though? And here's where you become the pick me. When you decide I'm going to cooperate with this man and see what we can make. I'm going to cooperate with this man and see what we can build. And someone who's never had the pleasure of building something with a husband can never tell you about that. They can never advise you in that. I was watching a YouTube interview while I was getting ready tonight, and there was this lady who claims that she's a business coach and a self-help coach, and she's claiming all this stuff, and she's charging people $5,000 a month to go through her coaching. But when the guy that she was interviewing with started asking her questions about her business experience, she had none. She did not have. She said she made $70,000 a year, and that she felt like that was enough for her to teach other people what you know. Ma'am, sis cousin, what you know is only getting you $70,000 a year. What can you tell me? And I'm not saying that might not be impressive to somebody, but that's not enough for you to be charging people $5,000 a month for. I'm only making $70,000 a year listening to you. I don't have $5,000 a month to give you and still pay my bills. I don't have it. So how is this making sense? And so this is what I'm saying. We're sitting up here taking advice from people who've never lived a thing. It's cute and it's sassy when certain influencers get on here and offer their anecdotes and their advice. Okay. Like one in particular, Keita Rose. She's a lady, she's been on TikTok for a while right now, and now she's doing the tour with this tonight's conversation panel or whatever, and they're going out giving relationship advice. But this lady is not married. She's not married. She's a single mother. How are you out here giving relationship advice? How are you out here giving life advice when you have no proof? Excuse me. You have no proof that you're doing life correctly. What are you showing the people to validate what you're saying? And so again, why are we listening to people with no receipt? I said this before. We love to check for receipts when it's tea, but when it's somebody coming to validate their experience, especially when they're coming from the word of God, we don't want those receipts. We don't want to hear what they got to say. We don't want to validate any reason for the word of God to be living and true and correct. I'm here to tell you that the word of God is alive and well, sharper than any double-edged sword, able to separate the heart and the mind. Yes, that word is very real. And once you start applying it to your life, you will begin to see things change. But you cannot try to apply the word with a heart full of anger and bitterness, because now you begin to abuse and misuse scriptures. Once you start trying to apply the word with a veil of anger, I'm going to call it that, a veil of anger and a veil of bitterness, you find people who will take the scriptures to try to use them for their advantage. You will find people who will do things to people that'll have you scratching your head, but they'll say things like, touch not my anointed and do my prophet no harm. Ma'am, you are not anointed or a prophet, first of all. And secondly, that's not what that Bible verse means at all. But again, because you are so angry and you are so bitter and your heart is full of vengeance and malice, you will take the scriptures and abuse them to try to make yourselves feel better. Y'all love to walk around talking about he who finds a wife finds a good thing. What are the qualities of a wife? What does it say about the Proverbs 31 woman? All y'all know about the Proverbs 31 woman is that she got up and went to work. Y'all love to say that. Love to say that. And it never fails that when someone is trying to talk down to me about being a stay-at-home mom, that's the first verse they love to throw up. Even the Proverbs 31 woman got up and went to work. What makes you think that I don't work? Why do you think that I'm not working? Because I'm not out here punching someone's clock? Because the work that I do helps contribute to the income that we're both bringing in? And let's be clear, I'm not up here trying to tell y'all that I work as hard as my husband does. I do not. Okay, I'll be the first one to tell you I do not. My husband provides a very easy life for me, okay? My most frequent dilemma is having to figure out what to cook for dinner. That's my stress of the day. Okay, you want to talk about something stressing me out? What are we gonna eat for dinner again? What we gonna do in school? You know what I'm saying? My stress comes from thinking of ideas. I'm not getting up at no ungodly hour. I'm not sitting in traffic. I'm not okay. I get it. I'm not any of that. But it does not mean that I'm not working and contributing. No one likes to talk about the law of kindness being on her tongue. We don't like to talk about that. We don't like to talk about patience. We don't like to talk about meekness. We don't want to get into the fruits of the spirit. Nobody wants to talk about that part. We just like to talk about the parts that are easy for us to fulfill. Sure, I can get up every day and go to work. That's no problem. Yep, I'm a Proverbs 31 woman. I'm ready to be somebody's wife. What? What? For me, I understand this is not everybody. I'm just saying for me, my goal was to have a husband to where it didn't matter if I worked because I knew I didn't want to. Like I knew I wanted to be home with my children. I knew this. Okay. And some of y'all feel that same way, but you won't stand on it because you don't want to be called to pick me. A lot of y'all have different ideals from what is popular right now. You want to be a stay-at-home wife. You want to work with your husband. You want to homeschool your kids. You want to plant your food. You want to make bread from scratch, which that is my next adventure, homemade bread. Okay. You want to do these things, but because they're labeled as pick me behavior, you won't stand on it. And by not standing on it, you could be missing your blessing. You think other women are the only ones reading these comments? It's men reading these comments too. You never know who's reading what you're saying. And beyond that, you could be encouraging another young lady. There are other people that read them same comments and be like, oh my gosh, something is wrong with these women. And they're looking for a voice to confirm what they've been feeling the whole time. I had no one around to confirm to me that it was okay as a Black girl to want to be a housewife. As a Black girl, I was supposed to grow up to go to college and have a career and, hopefully one day maybe get married. I was never told, oh, it's okay to want to be a housewife. That's fine. This is what you need to look for in a husband, though, if that's what you want to do. And it's okay to be a housewife. That's fine. But while you're single, work on yourself, work on your education, figure out what you want to do in life. That's never the message. The message is always, ooh, what's wrong? Why you want to be a pick me? Why do you want to do that? And your husband's still going to cheat on you. That's what they love to say, no matter what. No matter, you could have a video of your husband showering you with 1,000 roses and $1 million, and they'll say, doing all that, and he's still cheating on her. It never fails. But again, this is the angry Black woman mafia, and they are not to be listened to. I'm convinced most of them gay. I'm convinced most of them are gay. There's no way that you speak that ill about men and then go and lay up with them. There's no way. When they say they don't need a man, listen, I don't need to hear anything else. All right. As soon as y'all start talking about you don't need a man, I already know this ain't my kind of party. Even when I was single, I was never that girl that just wanted to be around a bunch of girls who gonna carry the bags and take out the trash, who gonna pay for everything. Why I want to sit around with a bunch of girls? It's just like a dude that only always want to be with dudes. Like, you a little sus, boo. You only always want to hang out with dudes. And now y'all have got to the point where y'all rather sleep with women than sleep with a man. You've grown that cold in your rebellion. You've grown that hard in your disobedience that instead of you willing to repent, to work on yourself, to build a relationship with a man, you just said, forget men altogether. I'll just sleep with women. Are you freaking kidding me? And here's what's so funny, because now that the alphabet mafia has been confirmed and they're allowed to get married and everything else, now you have them coming out and saying, no, it's just as crazy over here too. So you did all that and went over there just to find out it's problems over there too. Why don't you come back over here and do things the right way? Again, we are so stiff-necked. We are so full of rebellion. We will openly be an affront to God. We will openly be an insult to the Most High. You are an insult to the Creator of heaven and earth when you walk around in sin. Double and triple for y'all walking around in fringes and head wraps, sinning. Double and triple. Why put your head wrap on if you know what you're doing? I was talking to one of my kids, one of the boys. Who was I talking to? I think I was talking to Dante Jr. one day when we were coming back from boxing. And we were talking about how certain people claim to know the Bible. He was saying how like Israelites claim to know the Bible, but it seems like it's still a lot of confusion. And I was telling him, yes, that's true. But it's the same thing as when we were in church. You had people in church who wanted to live right and, claim they were trying to do the right thing, but they kept living in sin. So it's the same thing. Okay. So I'm not saying that, once you claim to be in the truth or once you claim to be following the law, that now for some reason you are just invincible to the temptations that come upon everyone else. No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that putting on a head wrap and fringes means that, now all my fleshly desires have been taken away from me. No, it's not. But the point of you wearing those things is to remind you not to sin, but y'all will wear it on the way to sin. No one's saying that it's going to take it away, but could you stop can you stop bringing your God to an open shame? Because the heathens that you getting down with, you think they're not laughing at you? Street dudes know church girls are the easiest. They'll tell you that. Church girls, pastors' kids. Oh, they're the easiest. They're going to be saying that about y'all Israelite women next, if they're not saying it already. I know I'm not supposed to say that. I know that's not supposed to be true, but what what do you think is going to happen? Because y'all come over here and y'all come to the truth, but you're not interested in changing. You're not interested in setting another precedent for your life. You're not interested in changing your reputation and becoming the woman that the Most High has called you to be. You don't want to be chaste. You don't want to be discreet. You don't want to be a keeper of your home. You don't want to love your husband and your children. Some of y'all are afraid to admit how old you are because, I don't want the responsibility of having to teach anyone that. Heck, I'm not doing it myself. I talked about this last week when we talked about Trickster for Kids, how older women are just out here abandoning their post. They just threw their hands up and left the whole job on the line. So much so that our young women are lost. They have no one to look up to. What are they supposed to do now? Like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications when we go live here at the House of Mono. Let's go through some comments. Nothing is getting cheaper. It isn't. Nothing is getting cheaper at all. It's all getting more expensive. If I was single out here, listen. If I was, I'd be trying to find me a man. I would be trying to find me a man so fast. My husband was supposed to come on here with me tonight, but all praise to the Most High. He has to work. So it's just going to be me as per usual. I know that's what y'all used to anyway. All right, y'all, listen. I know I don't usually do this, but I have to go to the bathroom so bad. I cannot hold it. He's not here right now, so I have him come in and talk to y'all for a few seconds. Give me a few minutes. I'll be right back.
One time. Yo. 3 times. 4 times. Doing gang things, living super clean. That done came up, can't control us. 1 time for the men doing gang things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control us. 1 time for the men doing gang things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control us. Look at you done came up now. Get it how you live, mess the game up now. Ain't messing with yoga, but get the flame up. Hey, used to be Toby, but got your name back now. I see ya, paid under pressure. 25 lighters, got them all on the dresser. If it ain't for you, ain't for you then. If you a lame or a sucker, wanna dress you then. Grown up now, bump the childish ways. Got a wife and a bunch of kids to raise. Punch a clock side hustle or a business you endure to ensure that all the bills is paid. Slow clap for your homeboy. Could've turned out like your homeboy. Being on the same block, cooking up the same rock on the cell block lot with your homeboy. But no, you had vision, you had goal. Brand new you on the old time road. Take care of home where you bust your low black men don't teach.
Okay, y'all, I'm sorry. Thank y'all so much for waiting. I'm sorry. Okay. So, and listen, this topic, this topic was close to me because I get called a pick me a lot. I get called a pick me all the time. And it's not, I don't care. I don't care. Like I said, I'm happily married. So yes, I'm a pick me and I got picked. Okay. But it hurts me because hold on a second. I'm sorry, guys. When I'm here by myself, I have to do everything by myself. And I didn't close the door good. Okay, there we go. Door closed. Okay. So it hurts me. It hurts me for them. Okay. It doesn't hurt me for me. I'm living the life I want to live. Okay. So for someone to call me a pick me, I don't let it reflect on me. Like I said earlier, that's a reflection of them and what they're going through and what they're dealing with. And they don't understand why someone's not willing to put up with them and their attitude. Okay. And here's the thing. They tend to perceive that most women think like them. Right? So the girls who are getting picked must be traitors to womankind. This is why you have phrases like a girl's girl. Sounds kind of gay to me. I'm going to just keep it real with you. I've never been interested in being a girl's girl. I don't get that. I'm not. I'm not looking for a good girlfriend. I'm looking for a husband. So no, I'm not a girl's girl. I'm trying to be some man's wife. So my decisions are not going to be based on what the girls think and what's good for the girls. My decisions are going to be based on what's good for me to get a man, because I thought that was the goal here. Now, listen, if you're trying to lay up with women, then keep doing things to please other women. Keep doing things to please other women. And Because here's the thing, while you're so busy being a girl's girl, guess what's going on behind your back? We get to a certain age where we just have to face reality. Y'all out here that's grown and y'all playing these games. You listen, you're not the only one. You're not the only one. So why do you feel like sticking to some kind of girl's code is going to get you any closer to your goal? And now, listen, I'm not talking about certain things like you don't sleep with your friends. You don't sleep with your friend's ex. You don't sleep with, you know what I'm saying? Certain men are off limits. Yes, absolutely. But other than that, girl, game on. Game on. Yes, I'm here for a man. So I'm going to do things that are going to attract a man to me. I'm going to be more nicer than the last chick. I'm going to be more considerate than the last chick. She wouldn't rub your feet. Here I am, baby. She wouldn't rub your head. I got you right here. She wouldn't cook for you. I got that coming up too. I don't understand how we expect so much of men and feel like there's nothing for us to give. The moment you start to realize that men deserve respect and men deserve reciprocation of feelings, they want to label you a pick me. I'm a pick me for wanting to treat this man like a human being. I'm a pick me because I recognize the responsibility that I expect this man to take on by marrying me. So my interest is in seeing how I can make it easier for him to take on these responsibilities. I'm a pick me. If that makes me a pick me, then all praises to the Most High because the goal's been achieved. You know what I'm saying? Like I made my goal. And again, 99% of the time when a woman is being called a pick me, she's already married. And so instead of these women admitting, because it would take a soft, and we're stiff-necked, so we'll never admit. We're hard-headed, so we'll never admit. The daughters of Zion are still haughty, so we'll never admit that this ain't working for me. This ain't the life I wanted. When you sitting on social media and making your comments and you running the streets and you treating people any kind of way that you want to because you feel like all men are disposable. And when it all catches up to you, you have no one to blame but yourself. I have witnessed personally 2 or 3 women personally that I know, like family know, friends and family know, that have fumbled the bag chasing behind some nonsense. And what I mean by that is there was a man who wanted to give them everything that a man is supposed to give them. They want to provide for them. They want to take care of them and any children they may have had. Okay. The man's there. He's willing and able to do whatever. And instead of liking the man that likes them or trying to make it work with the man that likes them, they're so busy out here chasing men who are emotionally unavailable. Why? Because it is easier to chase someone who's emotionally unavailable, who will never really require anything of you, than it is to step up and to make yourself the kind of person that is deserving of a good man. Let me say that again, okay? It is easier for me or for you, because I don't do these things, but it is easier for you to chase an emotionally unavailable man because he will never require anything of you. He's not interested in you emotionally. He's not interested in you for any kind of permanent lifetime marriage, long-term relationship. He's not interested in any of that. So guess what? Your behavior does not matter to him because it's not going to affect him. He's never going to give you his last name. He's never going to introduce you to his friends and family. So it's never going to be a situation of, oh, honey, how you act reflects on me. So if you could please change your attitude, I would really appreciate that. You don't want to hear that. So you will continue to ignore the man that says, hey, listen, I like you. I love you. I think we can build something together here. Are you willing to work with me? You won't do that. And what's so sad is this has been going on in our families for so long that some of us can't even turn to our mothers for good sound advice because even your mother will turn to you. Don't be a pick me. Don't listen to him. You ain't got to do what he say. Your own mother will speak this of you. And then when you're 30, 40, 50, still living with her and can't find a man, she'll get on the phone and talk to her friends about, I don't know what's wrong with this girl. She can't find or keep a man. Listen, it happens. It happens more than you like to think that it happens. We are not, listen, ladies, listen. Yes, we have power. Okay. And I don't understand why we haven't realized it, that the only way that you could submit is to have a power to submit. Okay? You have you have the power to make your own decisions. You have the power to live your own life. You can go out here and, work your career and have your single life. Sure. You can do that, but why would you want to? When you do that and you leave this earth, what have you left for you? What have you left? What have you accomplished? What is here to keep people in remembrance of you? You haven't touched anyone's life. You haven't had any children. You haven't been the most important person in anyone's life, because I know y'all don't, want to accept or admit this. But the fact of the matter is, as a child, you're not the most important person in your parents' life. You may have siblings. Your parents may be married. Once you become an adult, you're not, no, you can't. That space is not for you to occupy. Once you become an adult, now it's time for you to go off and start your own family. Your mama is not wrong for telling you, girl, go on somewhere. I'm trying to lay up with my man. Your friends is not wrong. Nobody is abandoning you because you decided that you were too good to cooperate and find you a good man and keep you a good man. That's nobody's fault but your own. And see, this is what'll happen, because everybody will front in the group situation. Everybody will front at party time. And I get that there are things such as girl talk. And maybe this is, what I'm saying, what we need to realize. Yes, there's girl talk. Okay. There's girl talk when girls get together and they talk junk. But a lot of these girls exaggerate the junk that they talk, and they don't ever bother to tell you, like, no, this I didn't really do this. This didn't really happen. No, what they'll do is, because they're insecure and unhappy themselves, they'll make up these crazy stories to tell you, to make you feel like there's something wrong with you. I'm not pulling it out my behind. I'm telling you what I know. Okay. There's a girl I used to work with, and at one time I was driving her back and forth. She was riding with me back and forth to work and stuff. And she used to always have these stories about how all these men was whining and dining her, and she was doing this and she was doing that. And I, at the time, was struggling, like, to even have a relationship. Okay. I was a single mom. I had 3 kids. Like, it was hard. Okay. And so I'm just listening to all these stories she's telling me about her wonderful life. And, of course, feeling bad about myself, because it's like, oh, woe is me. Why don't anybody love me? And da 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 da. Just to find out years later that it was all a lie. She just didn't want to admit the truth to me. But the people that she was telling the truth to, eventually they came to me and was like, no, like she always tells us that like men tell her she's ugly and all this other stuff. So I'm saying that to say, like, know your own truth. Okay, because you'll be sitting around girl talking and kikiing with this one and that one, and the next thing you know, you look up and they all married and you're the only one that's single. You the only one single trying to hit everybody up to hang out with you on the weekend, but they with their man, so they ain't got time for you. Okay? Like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications so you know when we go live here at the House of Mono. Paxton and Atticus, everyone. Paxton and Atticus. I'm gonna say shalom to people. Look, Atticus' hairs look crazy, but y'all, I just did his hair on Tuesday. He just has that kind of hair. And then he cut his sides like a long time ago. Has it been a year? I don't know if it's been a year.
It's been 2 years.
It's been 2 years since he cut his hair?
8 years.
Wow. Okay. Well, maybe it's been 2 years, but he cut this and he cut this. So it's kind of hard to get it to all stay in. It's craziness.
I wanted it better.
It'll get better when it starts growing. Val Shalom and Shalom. Thank you for joining me. Look, Sister Delta said, hey, nephew, say hey.
Hey.
All right, you want to run down the family businesses, Atticus?
We do top tier parties are the bouncies.
Mm-hmm.
Print doctors are the shirts and
Go ahead, Paxton.
you told them to do it.
Go ahead, dude. You can do it.
Mono's West Side Bullies are the dogs.
You want to tell them about Solo? About how she won?
And Solo
That's all you can say. She won.
won the dog show.
Yes, Solo, one of our dogs, won best lady, something like that. But she won for like being the best girl dog there. So shout out to Solo and Mono's West Side Bullies. No, not crazy. Nope. What's that word? Cute.
Cuteness.
Very good. Yes, all this cuteness. She's talking about you guys. Huh? Well, I hope something I said will help you, whether you're listening live or on the replay. If you like something I said, or you just want to help support what we got going on here at the House of Mono, please head over to the Cash App $ the House of Mono. If you are in the Metro Atlanta area and you are looking to congregate with like-minded Israelites, Passover is coming. Please send a DM to my husband on Facebook, Instagram at Monologue Magad, MONOLOGMAGAD. Please let us know as soon as you can, because we will have to make accommodations once we get to a certain number of people. So please, y'all, don't like hit us up at the last minute. Please let us know now so that we can know, what we need to do. Make sure we have enough food and everything. Make sure we have enough space and everyone can be comfortable.
I want to see the comments.
You want to see the comments? Okay. There's no new comments. Okay. Is Daddy here? Who told y'all to come down here?
Yeah.
Oh, he called you? Okay. Anything you want to say, Paxton, before we go?
Bye.
That's all you want to say is bye. All right.
Like, share, and
yes, like, share, and subscribe. Did the turtle eat the snake? The turtle ate the snake. So Paxton found a little baby garden snake. Good night. Fellas.
Good night, fellas.
Very good. Paxton.
Bye.
LOL. That means laugh out loud. Bye. Paxton found a garden snake and he fed the snake to our turtle.
Didn't want to.
He said he didn't want to, but Daddy made you feed it to him. My husband made them feed the snake to the turtle, and so it looked like the turtle was struggling with the snake. So we cut it up a little bit, just to help her get it, and she got it. So yay for Tittums the turtle. Okay. Solo won best standard female first place. So shout out to Solo. That's you sorry you burped and you drunk all my tea.
I didn't drink all of it. I saved some for you.
Oh, thank you. That's so sweet of you. All right, guys. So I posted our garden layout on my Facebook. If you haven't seen it, I don't know what's up with Instagram lately, but it's like since I connected my Instagram to my Facebook, nothing comes on Instagram. Like I don't get any feedback or anything on Instagram. So I don't know what's up with that. But so the garden layout is on Facebook for those of you who have been asking about that. You can see the post on my Facebook. And if you have any questions, please, like whatever knowledge we have, we're willing to share with you guys. But I definitely want to encourage y'all, please start growing your own food. Start stocking up on essentials, water, batteries, flashlights, candles, canned food, anything that you can stock up on. Listen, now is the time. I know we've been saying this for decades and decades and decades, and it seems like nothing's happening. But listen, it's giving it's giving World War III vibes. Okay, so need y'all to pick up on that and start preparing yourselves, not just physically but spiritually also. If you have not taken the time to repent and rededicate your life to the Most High, please, I encourage you to do that on today. It can be something just as small as a little personal prayer, a little personal conversation, in the commitment that you are going to live according to the law from this moment forward. Go ahead and have that conversation with the Most High. Set it in your heart. Reach out if you need help. My family and I are here. Again, if you have some questions, brothers, you need some guidance or anything like that, Monologue Magad, please feel free to send him a DM. MONOLOGMAGAD on Facebook and Instagram. Like, we are here for you. Please understand that ministry is first and foremost. Ministry is first and foremost here at the House of Mono. So that's where our heart always is, for the Most High and for his people. So please feel free to reach out. If you need any help, if you just need some advice, whatever, a few scriptures, anything. Also, if you know a Hebrew entrepreneur or a woman who's out here handling her business, please send me an email at missmonosworld@gmail.com. We'd love to have her. We'd love to present the product to the nation as long as it's cool. You know what I'm saying? Let's bring you up. Let's talk about it. Let's get the word out that we have Hebrew Israelite businesses out here that we can support. Yes. Nope. Standard.
Best standard. Female. First place.
Yes, very good. Very good.
Female first.
Yes, he's talking about Solo. They wanted to keep the snake. No pet snakes allowed. Oh, y'all was gonna keep the snake?
Outside.
Oh, outside.
To keep the snake. No. Wait, did I just say that?
Yes, this is Daddy. Mom, Daddy just said that.
What's that say?
They wanted to keep the snake. No pet snakes allowed. So that's why you didn't keep the snake. All right, you guys. I love you so much. Thank you for hanging out with me tonight. We will see y'all back here next Thursday. Same black time, same black channel. YouTube at Monologue Magad, MONOLOGMAGAD. Also, like, share, subscribe. The 3MG YouTube. See, husband was supposed to be here to make some announcements, but I'm not going to make them. So just be on the lookout for the next live from Monologue Magad. It'll probably be sometime next week. And I will see y'all back here on Thursday. In the meantime, you can keep up with us in these content creator streets at Miss Mono's World. So In the meantime, in between time, stay safe. I love you. Don't forget to stock up on your essentials. What? What? Hurry up. What?
Say something disappointing.
I'm not doing that.
Please.
All right, guys. I love you so much. Shalom, shalom, and good nights. Don't push nothing. Don't you touch nothing. Okay, no, for real this time. Say good night. Good night, y'all.
Mono.
Living super clean. Daddy came up.
One time for my king doing king things. Mom these hoes cause he know he got a good thing. I
Tune
submit.
in to Why Boaz Don't Want Your Ass with your host, Miss Mono.
Shalom and shalom, sisters and cousins, and praise the Lord saints. It's your favorite housewife, Miss Mono.
Every Thursday from 8 to 10 p.m. live on YouTube at Miss Mono's World and Monologue Maga. Now also available on the Saya TV on Roku and Fire Stick. Why Boaz Don't Want Your Ass. Don't miss